All right, well, welcome everyone. Thank you all for being here with us tonight. Great group. So we're gonna go ahead and start with some introductions. I know a lot of you already know who we are, but my name is Jay Melendez. I am the program manager for EforAll Pioneer Valley. And we have here the lovely Tessa, who is the director. Amazing. Our amazing fundraiser. And then we have Maria, who is, everything for me. She saves the day. Yes. And let me go back, because you guys can see our hashtag there. I know someone had mentioned about our hashtag, but our hashtag is EforAll Pioneer Valley. If you guys are taking photos, you guys can hashtag us, please. We like to see some photos that we're not taking. All right. So what is EforAll? EforAll is a nonprofit organization. We've been around for about 10 years now. And here in the Pioneer Valley, we've been around since 2018. I've been with EforAll for 5 years now. But EforAll is a nonprofit, and it was created to help entrepreneurs in the early stages of starting a business. And how do we do that? We do that by providing business training, mentorship, and an extensive professional network that we provide to the entrepreneurs. So far, since 2023, we were able to and out of those 1,700 entrepreneurs, they've generated over $56 million in revenue. That's amazing, right, guys? Come on, clap. That just means that what we do and what we provide works, right? And with those businesses, they've been able to provide 2,200 local jobs. And this is why we do what we do, to revitalize the community. So who are the entrepreneurs that are going through our program? 76% are women-owned businesses, which is amazing. 74% are BIPOC-owned, and 34% of the businesses that go through our program are also immigrant-owned. And most importantly, 70% of the entrepreneurs that go through our program are still in business after the 3-year mark, and that's 8% higher than the US average. That's amazing, guys. So how do we do this? How do we provide all these services for free to our entrepreneurs? Here are our funders, our donors. We have Mass Mutual, Foundation, Citizens Bank, Liberty Bank, MGCC, People's Bank, Santander, Tessa. What are the other two?
MGCC, did you say that?
No.
Citizens, Beverage Foundation.
Those
City
two
of
trademark, yep.
City of Holyoke,
Yep.
Get it, girl.
But thank you. And we also want to thank Holyoke Media because they allow us to use this amazing space. They're not charging us. And this is my class, guys. Huge congratulations to my 7 entrepreneurs. They stuck by. This is a 12-week intensive program. And they stood with me, and it wasn't easy, and I know it wasn't, but this is them. They're amazing. All right, so why are we here today? So if you're friends and family, you guys don't know, we are here today because the entrepreneurs, they've been working very hard the past 12 weeks. And today you guys are gonna hear about who they are. You guys are gonna be learning about what their business is. You're also gonna learn about what goals they've created for themselves for the past 3 months. So once they started this program, they had to create goals for themselves to work on. Our lovely mentors are holding them accountable for these goals, and so have I. You guys are gonna be learning about who their customers are, what their value proposition is for their business, what comes next after the program. So we're gonna hear about their 18-month work plan. What are you guys gonna be working on for the next 18 months? They're going to be sharing their feasibility and sustainability of their business. They're also gonna be talking about the organization. What is it gonna take to run this business and make it work? They're gonna talk about their social impact. What is their give back? Why are they doing this? And then at the end, they're gonna be telling us what do they need right now in order to get to the next phase of their business. So the big ask. Okay, so entrepreneurs, there's gonna be a nice little white X right here. You guys are gonna stand right there, you guys are gonna stay at the mic. And this is because Scott told me to tell you this, okay? So you guys are gonna stand here, stay in front of your mic when you guys are presenting. It's just gonna help out with the technology, okay? You guys are gonna be presenting for 10 minutes. Maria, my lovely Maria, is gonna be there with time cards, and she's gonna be keeping track of the time. You guys have 10 minutes. I believe there's a 5-minute count, and then there is 1 minute, 30 seconds, and then time's up. So while you guys are presenting, make sure that you look at Maria every few minutes just to make sure that you guys are on track, okay? We wanna make sure that you guys get to the end of your presentation. After you guys present, do not leave the mic, I won't let you, but then I will go ahead and leave it to the judges so they can start asking their questions, okay? Make sure that you guys are asking the questions, matter of fact, clearly, giving time for all the judges to ask questions, okay? After the judges ask their questions, we're gonna give them about 2 to 3 minutes to take their notes, go on the system, and input their scoring, and we will do some commercial breaks, okay? So right now, I'm gonna have each judge introduce themselves. And you can start, Jeff.
Good evening, everybody. Hi, I'm Jeff Sullivan. I work at New Valley Bank in Springfield, and we lend money to small businesses, a full-time job. So hopefully I'll be talking to some of you in the future.
Good evening. I'm Tracy Ruthier. I'm Director of Internal Operations at Fontaine Brothers. We're a general contractor in Springfield.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sasha Wild, the owner at Sexton Roofing, also a small local business.
Good evening. My name is Iyad Salha. I'm a small business advisor at Valley CDC, and I look forward to working with some of you.
How's it going? Lindsay Labonte. I manage Applied Mortgage in Northampton, and this is a great test for our mic, so I appreciate that too. Have fun, everyone.
Thank you so much, judges, for being with us today. All right, so who's ready to hear some pitches? So, Stacey, you want to come up?
Okay. Yeah. Hello, and thank you for being here tonight. I feel very special for having this opportunity to introduce what we bring to the table. My name is Stacey Blanco.
And I am Israel Blanco.
And we are the owners of HidenSneakz. At HidenSneakz, we're more than just a boutique, we're family. Located at 102 Cottage Street in East Hampton, our mom and pop shop specializes in premium sneakers and hand-selected apparel. Offering a customized, tailored shopping experience that blends comfort, quality, and style. At HidenSneakz, you're not just shopping, you're part of the culture. As a Latino native of New York and Puerto Rico, we stand out as the only sneaker store owners in East Hampton who look like us. That is something we use to our advantage. I grew up in the vibrant streets of Brooklyn, New York, where the rhythm of the city shaped my childhood. As a child, my parents separated, and I found myself in a much different place, Holyoke, Massachusetts. The transition was tough, but I went back often to visit and recharge during summer breaks and holidays. Over time, I learned to recreate that energy within myself, carrying Brooklyn's spirit with me throughout my life.
Meanwhile, miles away, I was raised in the heart of Ponce, Puerto Rico. I went to San Vicente de Paul and La Milagrosa Catholic School. It was pretty tough for most of my education. I was a skateboarder, I was into bikes, but I always kept an ear out to the Bronx to stay on with what's going on and trending. My parents split as well. It meant that my life was divided between the tropical warmth of Puerto Rico and the gritty pulse of the Bronx. The back and forth of the two worlds gave me a unique perspective, embracing both my island roots and the urban hustle of New York. We met 24 years ago while working at a restaurant, where else? At the Holyoke Mall. I was a line cook and she was a waitress. One night we were outside the restaurant, and we were talking, getting to know each other, and I turned to her and I asked her a question. Are you Puerto Rican?
Yes,
Where were you born?
Brooklyn.
You're not Puerto Rican, it's not the same. You're New York Rican, not Boricua from the island. Being born on the island and being born in New York City is different. New Yorkers have the culture, you have the pride, but you didn't grow up in the island.
I never heard that before. But instead of letting this be a division, it sparked something deeper, the understanding of what it means to embrace shared differences. In Israel, I found my island, a piece of Puerto Rico that makes me feel connected. And in me, he has the city, a connection to New York that feels like home. And together, we've created a sense of belonging for each other. Years passed and our journey together has deepened. We've built a strong family foundation with 4 thriving adult children and are now running a business. Our mission is clear: to share the values and lessons that we've learned with others, to spark conversation about the street style we both know so well, and also deeper conversations about the ethos of community, culture, and family.
To bring that vision to life, we opened HidenSneakz. There it is. A mom and pop sneaker store. It is not just a place to sell sneakers, but a platform where we could highlight heritage and invite people to experience a fusion of cultures. We don't just sell shoes, we share stories about the streets of Brooklyn, Holyoke, the soul of Ponce, and the Bronx, the struggles of growing up in split households, and the joy of building a life that bridges connections. The store is a meeting place for people from all walks of life, where we could not only talk about sneakers, but also about culture, identity, and community. Next slide.
At HidenSneakz, we set clear Accelerator goals to evaluate our business by focusing on 3 key areas: updating our Shopify platform, generating online sales, and solidifying our store hours. We began by clearly cataloging our online sneaker inventory and making sure prices were reflected correctly. We also streamlined our website's cart-to-purchase process, aiming to create a seamless shopping experience, which paid off almost immediately as we quickly sold our first online jacket. We are open 24/7 and open weekdays 11 to 5. Here. We began by cataloging our online sneakers inventory and making sure the prices, we said that already. Yes, I'm so sorry, it's the next Israel's turn.
Okay, let me have it. Okay, HidenSneakz operates with a focus on culture-driven limited edition sneakers, kind of like these. You haven't seen these around. We cater to the sneaker enthusiasts, collectors, and individuals who value both fashion and community. Our unique positioning lies in blending heritage, culture, and exclusivity with a commitment to loyal community engagement. We offer more than just products. It's a lifestyle we promote. Our customer segments include sneaker collectors, casual shoppers, local community, and online sales. Our value proposition provides exclusive and high-quality sneakers paired with curated apparel that reflects urban culture and street style. Our store is more than a retail space, it's a hub for community engagement and cultural expression.
Okay, next slide. Okay, 18-month work plan. Our first step would be to strengthen core operations and build a solid foundation for future growth. We will be accomplished by inventory optimization, e-commerce refinement, and solidifying store hours. Step 2 would be to expand our customer base and enhance market presence. This could be accomplished by marketing and brand awareness, expanding product lines, and hosting community engagements. Lastly, step 3, scaling. The objective is to scale operations, diversify revenue streams, and enhance the customer experience. The big picture. We know in order to accomplish this objective, we will need capital investment, and as we grow, we'll need to hire and train staff to manage storefronts. A dedicated team will be crucial for executing the big picture. In years to come, HidenSneakz will be an established brand with multiple retail locations, a thriving e-commerce platform, and a dedicated, loyal community presence.
To break even and move towards profitability, we will need a well-structured, cost-efficient operation that balances growth with cost control. This requires developing clear roles, optimizing sales, maintaining financial health, and managing inventory efficiently. That's a lot of sneakers. Maximizing both in-store and online sales and focusing on market-driven revenue. As the business grows, scaling efficiently and expanding the customer base through social media, digital marketing, and local community engagements. This could be anything like cultural chaos, as you can probably know about. And that will be critical for reaching profitability.
What is the social impact of HidenSneakz? We founded this business to represent not only for our love of fashion, but also our deep-rooted commitment to building and uplifting the communities we're from. By breaking generational cycles and creating a thriving business, we hope to inspire others to see that success is attainable no matter where you start. At its core, HidenSneakz is about preserving culture, giving back, and empowering others. Our vision extends beyond commerce. It's about making a difference, sharing values, and creating lasting positive impact for the customers we serve and the neighborhoods we're a part of. The ask. You should consider awarding funds to HidenSneakz because our business model is not just about selling products, it's about making a significant social, cultural, and economic impact in urban communities. By awarding funds to HidenSneakz, you are not just investing in a business, you are investing in a vision that blends commerce with culture, creates jobs, and builds community. Your investment will help us scale operations, grow revenue, and create a lasting social impact. The funding will not only help us reach profitability, but also solidify our place as a key player in both the urban fashion industry and the communities we serve. Thank you for your time, and I hope to do business with you in the future.
Thank you very much. We have questions. Questions, right?
Yes, question. Judges, who would like to ask the first question?
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what is the furthest distance that somebody has gone to come to your store and buy your product? And how do they know about you?
I have a couple answers. A young man from the UK, folks from Puerto Rico, and more often right across the border in Connecticut.
All right.
Did you want to add to that?
No, those were the same.
Yeah. It's kind of neat to know that somebody overseas is wearing a pair of sneakers that I've sold them and that they're carrying around our little shopping bag, because we have like reusable shopping bags, and so it's free advertising somewhere in the UK.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I do have a question about the implementation of the online sales. I've noticed that the sales were less than $500 compared to your in-store sales. So what was the timeline, and how do you think you can improve your online sales?
We just, and I'm not completely finished polishing up the online portion, We've been in our brick and mortar for about a year and a half. We like to think we opened up the first year for the community who lives there. This is our, half of second year, so we're refining some of the detailed stuff. And by our third year, I hope to be my Shopify online nice and seamless. But we just started working on it during the EforAll class.
What are some specific marketing tactics that you've used so far and that you then plan to use going forward?
I'll answer that. Because I make a lot of content for like TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. And we also have access to where we're at on Cottage Street. There's a lot of local artists and performers there. And so we can collaborate with them and either have them wear some of our products or have them use our space for their stuff, but it'll be our space.
Good. Yes.
Kind of diving a little bit more into the 18-month plan. Do you have a plan to manage the inventory, or are you still developing?
Go ahead.
So the Shopify platform actually provides really good tools to manage inventory. So they start from being able to catalog through pictures. We actually take sets of pictures for every product that we have at the store, whether it be a shirt or a hat or some shoes. And they break it down in terms of being able to input into the inventory, manage the inventory when it becomes live at the store, because then you could schedule times where all the new products are going to be available to purchase. Pretty much it's all going to be through the Shopify platform. So we just need to refine that, and actually user interface, meaning us get better at using the resources that we have. So we have to actually be resourceful with our resources. So it's all going to be pretty much Shopify. They've been really great at, expanding our knowledge of the retail services.
When it comes to your product, it seems to be fairly specialized in the sneaker industry and what you're gearing towards for your customers. Are you thinking about expanding any of your product to possibly just a more everyday person walking by that might be just looking for a pair of sneakers?
Yes, sneakers are like in categories. You have limited releases, then you also have general releases. We do have some general releases, and the entry level is actually a little easier to digest because they're not as expensive. So we actually cater to that demographic as well. And what we want to do is kind of like provide a vehicle so they can experience what it is to be a part of the sneaker culture. We don't want to shock them into getting a product that's really expensive at first. I think we want them to somehow learn as we go along, and with an entry-level shoe that we have available, it can happen that way as well. So yes, we do carry general release sneakers.
Great.
So Tracy asked the question, kind of the question I was going to ask, but going a step further.
Yes.
Where do you find, where do you buy? Is there like a middleman, like a wholesaler who you buy through, or do you actually go straight to the artists who are designing this stuff, or is it a little combination of both?
It is a combination of both. It's Nike, it's a huge conglomerate, right? They manufacture sneakers. They actually have an app, it's called the Sneakers app. That app takes care of all the collaborations that they have with artists and fashion houses. So it's a raffle-based system, and you have to participate. So usually we have maybe 1 or 2 accounts that are active. They're so hard to get that we, on a release that might happen Saturday morning, we might be able to get maybe 1 or 2 shoes. So we're kind of very limited, but you have to get creative with participating in shoe shows that they have, like God Soul is going to come into the area. It's going to be in Boston, and it's like a convention, an expo, a shoe expo. Also, you have to participate in them, and that's where you would acquire the other special shoes. These are not really available, let's say, at your Foot Locker or at your Holyoke Mall. You have to go through different means to acquire these shoes. But wholesale, it's a little hard to be able to find these shoes at a wholesale level.
You have to keep your reputation.
That too.
You don't want to be just having any kind of sneaker and come to find out it's a knockoff or something like that. So you have to be very careful with who you're getting your inventory from.
You have mentioned in your presentation that you're open in the store 2 days a week. Is there a reason why you're not opening full week so that you're taking advantage of that
Yes,
cost?
that's been just for the past couple of months while I was doing the EforAll class. I'm going to be there all the time after this.
And what would be your most expense, the thing that would drain the business essentially, without achieving the sales numbers that you'd wish?
The expense that would actually drain some funds, from the business. Everything seems to be quite comfortable at the moment, but the biggest expense would be the overhead for the lease,
Yeah, that's what I was
for the
gonna say.
location.
The rent.
That would be pretty much it, yeah, the rent, so.
What would you say is your greatest competitor?
I get that.
I guess the mall, somewhat. I like to pride our prices, which is something else we talked about in EforAll. You know, don't price with your emotions. But the mall's prices are way more than what we offer. So I like that offering to people. Anything else?
Will you be implementing any SEOs for your website so you gain more traffic and drive business?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Would you implement some SEOs to your website so people can find you easily and buy
Yes.
from you? Is that in your plan?
That is already in the works. We are already on Google Business, and also Shopify, the analytics, it shows you how people looked you up. Was it on their mobile? Was it on their desktop? Was it through Google? So I am able to see who looked us up and actually came into the store. We would create a customer profile for them when they get there and tailor their shopping experience to that information that they share.
Given that we're dealing with limited edition, I'm sorry, I'm taking a lot of time. We're dealing with limited edition sneakers, and so you're limited to the sizes of the sneakers. How do you think that you can overcome that issue if someone walks in and couldn't find their size?
So, I'll go in. So what we do, we actually vary in terms of the inventory that we do acquire, depending on the styles. So we actually run a chart that we are able to populate our sneak wall with different sizes. We go from as little as baby shoes, like crib shoes, all the way up to 15. So I might not have the same style in all the sizes, but we do have at least one size for whoever is interested within that style. It's just that the style will be a little different, but still limited in release.
We also do custom orders as well. So we might not have the sneaker that they want, but we can say, here, try this on, see how it feels. Now we know what your style is. Let's go forward with ordering something that you're gonna really enjoy. So that works too.
We have time for one more.
Oh, wow.
Kind of building on those questions. As you scale up and are selling more, you were mentioning how difficult it is to get these limited release sneakers. How do you plan to get more inventory in store?
Well, one of the things that I have in mind is collaborating with other vendors in the area that might have. So if we don't have, we can reach out and say, hey, so-and-so right across the border or whoever we're friends with has that sort of thing. Did you want to add?
No, there are many sneaker enthusiasts that actually do participate within the sneaker resale business. So you have common folk that actually also participate in these raffles, and they actually bring sneakers to the store. So the implementation of a buy, sell, and trade option is also good for attracting people that actually win raffles and are not looking to make a little bit of money. We can offer the purchase of these shoes at a competitive price, so then they also bring inventory to the store.
It's like a sport, kind of.
Yeah. There is actually like a market out there that people follow.
Thank you. Let's hear it for our
Thank you.
entrepreneurs.
Great questions, judges.
Good job. Thank you, judges, for awesome, awesome questions. There's a whole sneaker world that I didn't know about until our friends here, so thank you. And while the judges do their scores and take their notes and all that good stuff, Jane and I are going to keep you entertained with some commercial breaks. Yeah. Your favorite, yeah. Singing. Usually when I have a microphone in my hand, it's because I'm doing karaoke. All right. So, we could not do what we do without all of our amazing volunteers. We want to thank mentors. Do we have mentors in this room right now? Raise your hands. Yes, I see you. I love you. You're so great. We had incredible specialists who helped us teach classes. Thank you so much for volunteering your time. Obviously, we use volunteers through the whole process. So if you helped us do interviews, thank you. If you helped us read applications, of course, the amazing judges that we have here tonight. And my friends on the Leadership Advisory Board, Mike is here. Mike, thank you. Owner of the Standout Truck. All your marketing needs, just hit him up. Yes, get some sneakers on that truck. And really, when I say like hundreds of volunteers help make this happen, it's true. So if you volunteered in any capacity, thank you. If you are interested in volunteering or you have a friend or family member that should volunteer with us, now's the time. We're getting ready for the winter, so talk to us. And of course, we have an event. I'm so excited, I can't. We have an event coming up. Alumni Showdown is going to be on Tuesday, October 22nd. This is going to be a great, fun community event. It's free. It's open to the public. It's from 6 to 8 p.m. and it's down near where Fame is on Dwight Street in Holyoke. It's like right next door. Please join us. We're going to have a bunch of our alumni are going to be showcasing and pitching that evening. We're going to give out some cash prizes, and you'll get to see all the incredible humans that we've been able to help over the last 6 years. So we're very, very excited to welcome you. It's going to be a great night. Kids are welcome. Yeah, you can do Christmas shopping. You can buy things there. Just get ready to meet incredible business owners. All right, judges, we're going to head to the next one. Up next, Savannah, come on down. So just a reminder, stand here at this nice X, speak there. Here's this.
Okay.
You just click it that way. Mm-hmm. Don't forget to watch for Maria.
Okay.
And you're a boss. You got this.
Yeah. All right. Testing. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Savannah Roman, and I am the creator of Sunrise Sweets. I always like to start off by saying rise and shine, and I would love to tell you my story. Growing up, ice cream has always been a very special part of my life. It is still to this day a weekly ritual between my father and I, and it's also a love language. This is what I grew up really enjoying. He did this thing where he would scream ice cream party or milkshake party when we would be relaxing, and immediately my eyes would light up because what kid doesn't love ice cream, right? So whenever he screamed milkshake party, I would already know what time it is, right? We would go to the kitchen, he would pull the blender out, and I automatically knew, because we did this so many times in my life, that my job is to play personal assistant. So I would sit right by his side and I would watch him blend and pour milkshakes. And my job was to then take the cups and go all around the house and hit every room and make sure every single family member has a milkshake glass in their hand, right? And you know what? I think this is a beautiful thing because still to this day, we do this. We have those milkshake parties. We have that house full of family. And this is just something that we carry on. So immediately for me, ice cream serves as a symbol. And ice cream symbolizes love, family, passion, warmth, and just being connected. And it's a beautiful thing to me because I would have never known at those moments, those simple yet beautiful times, were the stepping stones and the building blocks to where I am today and what I've built right now. So I say all of that to say that Sunrise Sweets grew from a childhood tradition and it blossomed into a specialty milkshake and sweet shop that has been intentionally designed to satisfy both the body and the mind through positivity-infused bright flavors. Moving on to our goals and our progress, I'm very happy with the progress on these goals. So our first one was to obtain 10 new customers a month, and given our data through the website that we do have, we have been hitting an average of 22 new customers a month between April to September. Secondly, our goal was to improve our website features, such as our FAQ page, adding those branded photos and a blog page, which we have completed. The FAQ page is in drafts, but it is going to be published. But the branded photos and the blog page are now published and on the site for customers to see. And lastly, to understand the financials of our business. Now, you may see a glass that's half empty, but I see a glass that's half full. I have made tremendous progress on understanding the numbers of my brands, and now it's just finishing up on all the products and documenting those numbers. Our value proposition. So the value proposition of Sunrise Sweets is to create high quality, memorable desserts, promote self-love and positive speech, and deliver refreshing customer experiences. We use this value proposition to hit the segment of young adults and college students. And the best way to hit this segment is through social medias like Instagram or TikTok. And we also prioritize word of mouth since we are in a smaller community. Our 18-month work plan. Okay, so this is broken up into 6 quarterly goals, with our very first goal being to optimize our variable costs. So right now is a time where we're looking to reassess the bulk prices, seeing if we can get better wholesale prices, and just really do a search to see where we can minimize our unit product costs while still keeping the same high quality of our products. Our quarter 2 goal being to increase monthly sales by 10 to 15%. We plan on doing this through boosting our ads, promotional content, and also utilizing our email marketing segment on our website to really hit those personalized ads for customers that we do see often. Quarter 3 goal is to collaborate with student/campus organizations. So that's really nailing our target segment and getting engaged with them. Quarter 4 is to expand customer base with college partnerships. Now that we've gotten engaged, we know our college students, we're looking to either collab with them through student clubs, if that looks like hosting mental health awareness workshops, or simply just vendoring on the campground. Quarter 5, we'll be looking to launch delivery service to increase convenience. Not only does this increase convenience, but it increases sales because we're now hitting different demographics that did not have access to us before or simply could not come to our location. And quarter 6 goal is to open a second revenue stream. So the delivery is kind of opening that, but we are looking to just reel in more sales in a different way. How we operate. So at this very moment, because this is a solo operated company, we make sure that we utilize our online presence and platform. So we have our users ordered through our online website. Once your milkshake is completed or your sweet treat, you then arrive at our parking lot and it is just delivered curbside. And we have a sticker here that says "Being You is Your Power" because every order comes with an affirmation sticker reminding you of who you are. Financial feasibility. So at this very moment, it takes approximately 91 units or $998 in sales to cover operational costs. We have predicted the sales of, being that we do sell approximately 20 units a day, we can assume that with all those quarterly goals being complete, we are able to sell 30 to 50 units. And because we're open 12 to 15 days out of the month, our revenue can potentially be between $3,600 to $6,300, allowing us to generate profit. A look into the future, more looking into the future. Where will we be in 3 to 5 years? Number one being having multiple revenue streams. So we're looking to have a physical store and a food truck, right? A physical store is great to have that stable location where people in that community can come to us, enjoy our space, and just hang out. Food truck is more for our flexible aspect. We're looking to hit different demographics and communities, but we're also looking to use our food truck to specialize in personal events. We also want to be permanent in that college partnership and sponsorship for mental health awareness events through those college locations. And then lastly, team expansion. So we're looking for 8 to 15 part-time and full-time employees to get all these goals done and all these visions. And this is really the best part, because I'm not looking for someone to just scoop ice cream. We're looking for someone who shares that same light, the same passion, and is looking to light up the room for themselves and others. Social impact. What is our purpose? So, aside from selling amazing, creamy, high quality desserts, we're looking to focus on an aspect of mental health, which is the power of your speech. So with the knowledge of our blogs and our future virtual classes that we're looking to do and physical workshops, we aim to recreate a community that internally thrives because we have provided the tools for them to see their own light. So our social impact is to restructure our community one affirmation at a time, because essentially your mental health builds your life, and that all starts with your words. Our ask. So we are asking for $2,404 to continue with our business and maximize our sales. So the dipping cabinet allows us to expand on our menu and offer a variety of flavors, and just simply for storage to have that inventory. Our spindle drink mixer allows us to cut down on our production time and serve customers more efficiently. And our tropical fruit bases is more of a strategic move to maximize our sales, because we are aware that the acai bowls that we do carry are our best selling and highest priced item. And to end on our last note, we're not asking you to buy, we're asking you to stay connected with us. We truly want you to be a part of the Sunrise family and follow us on our path, because Sunrise Sweets is the brand that invites you to take up space, shine in your own light, and be heard. Thank you.
Great job. You're welcome. All right, judges, who would like to start with the first question?
I want to, trust me.
I'll hone in on the employees part. What do you see as you grow as your role?
What do I see as my role?
Yeah.
So I definitely started this off of passion. This is a very much passion-driven business. So I still want to be where I am now, kind of just right in that mix, creating, crafting, aiming for that high quality, that perfection. So I guess I would be more so overseeing the production of the business. Yeah. If that's it for questions, that's fine, guys.
I apologize if I missed it, but where are you located when people do curbside? What's your location?
Yes, I'm currently located in a huge brick building. It's actually a building filled with a bunch of other small businesses. It's on 215 Moody Road in Enfield, Connecticut.
So when you were talking about getting a truck, what, do you think that's in your kind of like 1 year time frame, 2 years? How long does it take? I mean, a truck's a big expense. How long do you think it'll take until you're ready for that?
Honestly, I want to say between the 1 to 2 year, maybe like 1.5, because I am looking to make that transition as, I want to make that my primary location. I really love the flexibility of a truck. I love being able to access different people, meeting new people, and just getting that brand awareness out there. So maybe closer to 2 years, but maybe not.
You had mentioned that one of your goals was to increase your new customers per month by 10, and you averaged 22 new customers. What do you attribute that to?
What do I attribute that to?
Yeah, like from what I understand, you've met your goal of increasing your customer base already, somewhat. And so, are you aware of how those new people came to you? What is it that drew them in?
So my website does record a lot of that. So I can usually see if they're coming in from Google, or I have a link tree where through my Instagram site, so I can see people coming through there, or if they're just searching it up. I actually had a couple who walked in and said they seen me on TikTok. So definitely it varies for sure. But I do have the data for it.
So can I ask kind of the flip side of that question? How much repeat business do you have, and are you offering like coupons and different things to get people to, come frequently?
Yes, I have a lot of regulars. Once I get someone on the hook, they are hooked. And it's great. So as soon as you go on my website, it actually urges you to be a loyalty customer. So as soon as you make an account with my website, automatically, you don't even have to log in ever again. You start accumulating points. So that is our loyalty program. And after you hit a certain amount of points, you start to get money back. So, yeah.
If with your goal to transition to the food truck model, how do you feel that'll impact your target client?
I feel it'll help, because if my target client remains to be the young adults and the college students, I can now move to be in those hot spots where they would typically hang out or just be in general.
So you're currently in Enfield, Connecticut. Is that a hot spot?
It's definitely been interesting. So it has been a hotspot only because I am in a building full of other hungry girls. They definitely help drive my sales. In terms of everyone else, I have been working hard to get my brand awareness out there, and as of recently, it has been improving, but it has been a little difficult to try and reach others being in Enfield, Connecticut, because I am from Springfield, and that's where a lot of people know me from.
You've talked about optimizing your variable expenses. What is the biggest variable expense that you currently have, and do you think that with purchasing this equipment, it will help reduce the variable expenses of your business?
The biggest variable expense I have, some of the ingredients I buy now can be costly, and I feel I can reduce those costs just by simply researching. I'm sorry, what's the second part of your question?
Do you think by purchasing the equipment that you've mentioned in the ask, that will help reduce the variable expense?
I feel it'll increase the variable expense because I'm looking to expand my menu, but with that increase will also be an increase in sales, because then I get to sell those products that I wasn't able to sell before.
So do you think that the equipment will not help decrease the labor expense, the labor intensity of the product itself?
To decrease the labor intensity?
Yeah. So you're spending less time into production, so you can focus on developing more flavors or more treats.
Well, with that cabinet that I displayed there, I can definitely put the fruit bases in there that I also displayed, and that will reduce my time because it's already a pre-made item. And because it is so highly priced, I think that will up the sales. So yes, the materials and the equipment will help me.
I do have one last question.
Yeah, of course.
You've mentioned potentially introducing delivery.
Mhm.
How far of a radius can you deliver without impacting the
Quality.
quality of the product?
Mhm.
And how do you think you're implementing or you're going to implement that delivery system?
So lucky for me, my the website I use currently, which is Wix, it actually gives me the feature to connect DoorDash into my website. And in terms of the radius, I'm looking to keep it short, perhaps around 8 to 10 miles. But I do have a cooling bag, so that does keep the product at a good temperature.
Other than DoorDash, I was just going to ask if there's any ways that you can collaborate around maybe even just getting some of the variable costs down somehow. Any other collaborations that you've thought of so far?
In terms of delivery?
In terms of anything, any of your variable costs.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm not sure I understand the question.
So variable costs being maybe buying stuff in bulk.
Mhm.
And you mentioned you're in a big building with a lot of other businesses. You know, can you share supplies? Is there anything that you're able to work with other people that are maybe facing similar challenges?
In my surroundings, no. The building that I do work in is more of a beauty-based building. And just to keep things sanitary, I use all of my own things and keep my things individually for my brand. But there's nothing around me that I could really do that with.
I promise this one is the last question for you, for me.
Feels
at
longer
least.
than 10 minutes.
Have you implemented within your costing or the cost structure of your product? Do you have a labor line item there?
Not yet, no.
Okay. Do you think that that will increase your prices and or reduce your profitability?
Definitely adding that would definitely hit a dent. I think it would, absolutely.
And would that hinder your goal of hiring 8 to 15 part to full-time employees?
Well, that was in 3 to 5 years.
Yes.
That was in 3 to 5 years. Well, with all the other quarterly goals and everything that I'm looking to succeed before that, I think it'll be very, very achievable.
We have room for one more question.
Do we?
I'll ask it. Have you considered relocating to somewhere that might be a better customer base?
Absolutely. Since I am based in Springfield, I didn't mention this part in my story, but this also, I got so much awareness and engagement so fast because I'm a smoothie milkshake girl myself, as you can see, since my childhood. So I would actually post a pour every single day of me pouring a drink. And since I'm based in Springfield, that caught so many eyes where people were like, I immediately want this. So I think moving back to my hometown will definitely be a good move for me. Yeah.
They're doing such a great job, right? All right, so we're going to give the judges a few minutes to take down their notes and provide some scoring. So in the meantime, as Tessa said, we're getting ready for a new cohort that's set to begin in January. We're going to be very busy this month, guys, so please come support us wherever we are. The applications will be closing October 24th, and that's Thursday in like 2 weeks, right? This program is free to attend. I have a few entrepreneurs here, mentors here. Spread the word to your family and friends and to your social networks. We want to try to help as many entrepreneurs as we can. The application process is fairly easy. All they have to do is visit our website, EforAll.org. select our site if they live around our site and just apply for the program. And we take entrepreneurs in all different stages. You can either be an idea stage or you can have been up and running for about 2 to 3 years. Yeah, it's gonna be a great time. Sign up. I will be hosting an info session virtually on October 18th. I'll be hosting 2. There will be one at 12 p.m., grab your lunch, log in, and then I'll be doing one at 6 p.m. virtually. So if there's anyone that has some second thoughts or has some questions, have them email me. You guys know my email, jane@eforall.org, and they can hop on and we'll do an info session on what the Accelerator offers. There's a lot of changes that have been going underway with our program. All right, I think the judges are ready, right? Good? All right, awesome. Up next is Cora.
All right. All right, good evening. My name is Cora Lambert, and I am the owner of Push for Joy. We are a mobile specialty coffee events and catering company based here in Holyoke, but we have coffee carts that take the specialty coffee experience anywhere in New England to your private or public events. I just wanted to start off before we get into the meat and potato of things to ask a question, little audience participation, judge participation. How many of you out there showing, raise your hand, love coffee? Or you loved coffee and you can't drink it anymore? That's a lot of hands. This is gonna be great. This is gonna be a great conversation. I believe that the best conversations start over a great cup of coffee, and that is the whole basis for my business. Here you'll see a little picture of our espresso cart. The primary part of our business is that about a year ago, my wife, Margaret, and I built out a mobile espresso cart. We outfitted it with all the equipment that a normal coffee shop would have, and we're able to bring it to different events, again, both public and catered events, and we work with clients to create a customized menu that sparks joy for any occasion. And a little bit about us. This is never the fun part, talking about yourself, but I am a self-proclaimed coffee lifer. I think I was birthed from an espresso machine. I think my mom is definitely streaming this and would not like to hear that. But the truth is I have worked in coffee forever. My first job when I was 16, I worked as a barista in a local coffee shop. When I moved to New York City to go to school, I worked in cafes and worked my way up through management. I actually met a business partner and opened 2 cafes in New York, which was an amazing experience, being a small business owner from the ground up. And then when I decided to leave that, I've worked in wholesale, doing sales, account management, training, education, you name it. I've probably done it, but honestly, dishwashing is my favorite job of all of them. And then we have my lovely wife and co-founder, Margaret, who's here in support today as well. We actually met in coffee. She has run operations for some of the leading specialty cafes in the Northeast. She's honestly the most badass operator I've ever come into contact with, and everybody's favorite manager. So she calls herself Booth Babe. I would say that she is actually probably director of people. I won't get too much into the economics of a coffee market, but it's big. No, 200 billion is a number that I find hard to wrap around my head, but globally, an estimated to exceed $200 billion in a given year. The United States alone accounts for 110 billion in 2022. That's $301 million per day spent on coffee-related things. That's massive. And then when you get into your consumers, the average consumer in the United States drinks almost 1,100 cups of coffee a year, and almost half of those are purchased outside of the home. So that's a lot of cups of coffee, and it left me thinking, where do we go with this? So I knew I needed some help, and I applied to EforAll with the big question being, what is the right path? What is our path? When I was 16, I told my dad I wanted to have a coffee truck. So I always dreamed of having a little coffee camper and drive around to music festivals. It would be groovy, give everyone the coffee. That is an avenue for us. Another avenue is the brick and mortar. Done that, but it would supplement the income for the events. We don't have an event, we have a brick and mortar, and we're also building our demographic and our clientele. It's an option. The corporate events and catering. I worked for some amazing specialty coffee companies and sold contracts doing catering, and you see the bill, and it's incredible how much money that you can make if you find the right partners. That's another option for us. So we hit the pavement. We tested our assumptions. We did a lot of market research, and we arrived at our number one customer segment, which are corporate partners. I have to say, looking at this slide up here makes me, I get a little patter in my heart, because these are 3 events that I booked and executed while in this Accelerator program. The first on the left is we got called to come and serve coffee at the opening of a Mazda dealership and give away free coffees to people coming on the lot to get a car. They estimated 200. We served 40 drinks and got paid for 200. The one in the middle there, this one is the biggest by far. That's Terminal 5 in New York City. We got hired to do a full day's worth of coffee catering for an event presented by MasterCard. They loved it, and they're booking us again in the spring. And over on the end here, this is the New Balance facility in Boston. We got hired for a marketing and advertising conference and created a little cafe so people could engage, perk up, and learn more about their business. I don't want to gloss over, this is our separate segment, our weddings and catering. Show of hands here again, please. How many of you have gone to a wedding? It's a beautiful venue, the flowers are gorgeous, the food is delicious, the cake, and then the coffee is garbage. Raise your hand if you've been to a wedding like that. When now you have a solution for it, it's push for joy. So we have teamed up with some boutique caterers in the Pioneer Valley to do third-party catering, where they're add-on to the bar package, and people who love coffee get to have an excellent coffee experience. We're also partnering with event venues that have a vendor list. So if someone says, I love coffee, Push for Joy is now a recommended vendor at least 3 locations in the Pioneer Valley. Our Accelerator goals were pretty straightforward. I wanted to aim low and, go high, but I've created a sales pitch deck, so anytime I have an inquiry, I've got a pretty presentation and pricing I can send out to anybody at any time. Be more social on social media. I'm not the social media person, but I have catapulted myself into using other people's photographs of my stuff as anything that I need to do. But our social media following has grown by almost a third in the course of the Accelerator program by just tagging, reposting, and engaging more in social media. So pat on my back. And then building the sales pipeline, in-person networking events and trade shows. I love talking about coffee. This is the fun stuff. If you're a coffee lover, you're probably at a trade show hating the cup of coffee that you're drinking, and then I'm right there to be there and talk to you. And then our stretch goal is to build a cart version 2.0. Path to integration. When I entered this program, I was just in a phase where we were doing anything and everything. We were trying public-facing events. We were getting wedding bookings. And what we arrived at is that the public-facing events where I'm selling a cup of coffee at, event, let's say we did the Hampshire Gay Pride or the Holyoke Brick Race. We broke even most times, but on a bad weather day or, the vendor or the organization told us there'd be 1,000 people and there might have been half that. And then we ended up not making our margins nearly as well. So the move through the program was to move away from that and start really focusing on our partnerships with local catering companies, starting now for the holiday season. So that's kind of Q1. Things are gonna dip down this winter. That's when we're really gonna hone in on the partnerships in Boston and New York. We do have interest from the same catering company to do more things in New York, and I want to solidify those partnerships. We're going to be building out version 2.0. It's not as mobile as we need it to be. We'll get there in the future. And also our base of operations and all of our permitting is at a kitchen in Deerfield. We need to move that down to Holyoke or somewhere nearby so that we can save time. I've got no time left. Wedding season, we're going to rock it. By this time next year, I want to be fully employed, like self-employed. They look good. We built the card out. We have everything we need. Now it's just the service and the cost of goods. We keep it pretty low. Everything is slow and steady. This is a part-time job for me right now, and I'd like it to be full-time, and the numbers are showing that that's possible. I'm going to have to skip over this one to make my time. But so in the future, I'd like to give back. Barista work is skilled labor. There are always jobs in coffee shops. I'd like to partner with some local organizations, maybe Holyoke Community College or other culinary institutes to help them develop coffee training skills. Or ask. This is my buddy Seth and someone I don't even know lifting my espresso machine up a flight of stairs to get it to an event where someone told me there would be a freight elevator and there was not. I can't lift my own espresso machine. It was given to me because it was broken and someone didn't want to fix it. I refurbed it myself, and it's a beast. But I don't need that much horsepower for my average catering gig. So my ask is that we squirreled away more than half the amount of a new machine that I can lift myself so that I can fly solo. And then we can also utilize both machines for these higher volume events that we are booking in the future. So I am just asking you to all keep us in mind and don't let coffee be an afterthought. Thank you.
That was awesome. Judges?
I would love to serve you coffee.
I've got one. I work in my business with my husband, and tensions rise. How do you and your wife handle it when business tensions rise? How do you resolve disputes?
Well, open listening and ideas sharing. One of my favorite parts about my story with Margaret is that we actually met in a completely different environment. I was doing a lot of sales in Boston for a coffee company, and I wanted to sell coffee to the shop she was running. And so we met first in sort of a working relationship, and we worked so well together. We even entertained doing this together. But the nuts and bolts of it is we have very different skill sets, and we try and kind of stick to our lanes and overlap where it makes sense, and then invite in third parties where we both need to. But I think there's always going to be differences of opinion when it comes to that stuff, but it's about having the baseline of mutual respect and, open idea sharing.
Talk to me about your marketing funnel. You mentioned a big push during this program was, it sounded more belly-to-belly, trade shows, that kind of stuff. Other tactics that you've used or plan to use?
I mean, relationships are everything, and I'm tapping into a larger network that I developed over the years doing similar things for other companies, but I needed to be ready to go and ready to go to market, and I am, so I'm sort of utilizing those resources. And another thing is we are partnering with other coffee companies in different cities and sort of tag teaming these larger scale events. So there are plans to kind of collaborate with other companies in new markets to execute these events and grow our partner base.
Cora, you've done a really good job talking about how to build relationships with event planners. Are there other types of trade show companies that provide booths or that just are in that world where they're attending or putting up and breaking down booths at lots and lots of trade shows?
Yeah, absolutely. So this was one of the best pieces of advice that I got from my mentors over there. Thank you again. Was that you don't necessarily have to booth, because every person in a booth is the person whose card you want anyway. So now our tactic is to go to like wedding trade shows, coffee trade shows, advertising and marketing trade shows, financial services trade shows, and meet as many people as we can that are trying to create, or the marketing companies that are trying to create interesting activations at these trade shows. Because when there's a free coffee and it's actually decent, people flock to it. And that's your opportunity to really tell people about your business.
You've mentioned you've started 2 other small businesses, I believe, back in New York City. Did you end up selling these businesses?
Ooh, this is a fun one. My business partner and I had a difference of opinion. And so I was sweat equity and he was the money person. So you can infer who won. But this round, it's my way. And I am now armed with a lot of information and resources on how to do that part of the business better this time. Oh, thanks.
I didn't mean to open any
Oh no, it's
closed
awesome.
doors
I
in there.
had a
Just want to
feeling
see
it was.
if your vision is to create this business
Oh.
and then sell it or move into another opportunity. That's
No, honestly, I thought I would never again open a retail business. I actually swore I would never do it again because it took so many years off my life. It was a very celebrated coffee shop, and I could have done it again with someone else. But what I learned after moving away from it is that the sort of events business, the mobile piece of it, is where my interests lie, and in making great coffee show up in places that you wouldn't expect. And through testing this, I think I learned that people are willing to pay top dollar for that.
When it comes to down the road and perhaps growth, you talked about your social impact in training baristas and that specialized skill. Do you foresee yourself having any more employees on a full-time basis other than yourself at any point?
Absolutely. That espresso machine is really heavy. It's kind of a young person's game. I need some better systems and I need to be more mobile, but having a team, a small team of people that I can employ is very important to me. I've been an employer before. I've been on both sides of it. Luckily, I already have people that can work for me on an event basis, and I feel like armed with the training, it would be very easy to employ people if I get my events to a certain level.
Cora, how important is sort of being able to smell the product, see the product? Like, as you're talking about training these people that run the shows for you, is there a like special secret sauce of how to set up and be visible and what types of coffee to put out so that it like maximizes the aroma and that kind of thing?
You want my trade secrets?
Yes, that's what we're here for.
Okay, I'll give you some. We let the clients choose. If they're interested at all, we actually let the clients choose what kind of coffee they want because a lot of our clients have strong opinions about that kind of stuff. Once the grinder starts going, it sells itself. People immediately are like, what is that smell? It smells so good. I love coffee. And then we've got a line of people. But as far as the setup goes, we want to keep it really streamlined. It's just the cart and potentially one more small table. And of course, when we get hired for these corporate events, part of our sales package now are the media assets. Like, what do they want to add to this boutique coffee experience? But with 1 or 2 part-time people, it should be very easy to learn how things are set up, and then oversee the events.
As you expand and maybe do bigger events where you need staffing, other than staffing, what other potential growth pains do you foresee?
It's a good pain, but this one particular company already wants to book us in New York City for holiday 2024. Like, they want to add us to proposals starting now. And so my growing pain will be, how can we obtain a second set of equipment and potentially open up a base of operations or storage facility and hire in New York. Luckily, I still have a lot of connections to cafes there and people that are open to event-based work, but I can't be in two places at once, so I think I'm gonna have to cross that bridge sooner than I'd like to, but I think it's a good problem to have.
Do you have any competitors at all? Have you identified any competitors? And what would set you apart from them?
Sure. So locally, I do know that Monsoon Coffee Roasters built a cart this fall, but as far as I know, they are not doing any corporate events or weddings, to my knowledge, on the same scale. Please, I hope they're not watching this presentation. There is a company based in New Hampshire called Espresso Dave, but they're a lower quality. Really, the market is wide open for nice coffee, like mobile nice coffee here. It gets a little more saturated when you get to Boston and New York.
I think, are we good? Do we have time for one more? Yeah, go for it. One more.
One thing that didn't come up in this presentation was pricing. Can you tell us more about your pricing and pricing structure?
Absolutely. So it's different for weddings and catering than it is for corporate partnerships. We have a pricing structure per head, and depending on how many hours for the event and what the menu is. But for corporate partnerships, we get between $11 and $20 per person. For weddings, we usually get somewhere between $9 and $12 per person. So I would say the average wedding we're getting for 100 person, you can do the math. For events like the one in Terminal 5, we had over 300. The one in Boston, we had 500. I'm done.
You did it. You did it. Great job. Way to go. Proud of you. Oh, I'll take it. Thank you. Let's hear it for Cora one more time. We all had the chance to have Cora's coffee at Progress Pitch. So good. So good. Western Mass needs you. Holyoke needs you. I can say that because I'm from here. Okay, we did that. All right. So in case you're like, oh my gosh, I want to know more about that alumni showdown. Sounds like such a fun event to go to. These are all the incredible alumni that have signed up to pitch this evening. 18. What? 18 of them? No, there's 18 businesses and 7 are going to pitch. Oh, right. They're not all pitching. That'd be a really long night. But they're all going to be here. And a handful of them are going to pitch. These are alumni from all over the last 6 years. We really wanted to do a special event to showcase the incredible people that have come through our program. And it's going to be a really, really fun night. So if you are interested in supporting local businesses, you can come shop from them. You can test out their food and such. And it's going to be a great, wholesome evening, huh, Jane? We're going to have a really nice night. And we are going to be so busy in October. We weren't kidding. We're doing a Spanish language networking event that's going to be happening on Wednesday, October 3rd at the HCC Culinary Center. It's going to be there's not a lot of Spanish language networking events in our community. So we really wanted to make sure that we had that opportunity. We're going to have guest speakers, opportunities for networking. There are going to be businesses showcasing. So if you speak Spanish, even if you don't, I'll be there. It's going to be a great night. Join us. It's a free event. Please tell your friends and family. We want to create a lot of opportunities for all of you to get to know each other and to just have some really great conversations. So hope to see you there. Last but not least for this evening, Angel, come on up, man.
Hello there. Everybody hears me?
Yeah, and then don't forget Maria.
This is this one, right? This one.
That one.
This one? Okay.
Yeah. And Maria will tell you.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Take it away.
Hello, everyone. My name is Angel Rios, and I want to first start with where it all began. And 4 years ago, I came out of a long-term relationship, and it was 6 years, and that was my high school sweetheart. I thought I was gonna be with her for the rest of my life, and I was wrong. And with being wrong, I also lost myself. I had to re-identify myself, ask myself, who is Angel? What does Angel want? And what can I do to get there? Reading books, reading podcasts, and all these things that I've learned about mental health put me in a position that I had to be alone with myself again. And I put myself in a position to go to a meditation retreat, and I was there for 10 whole days. I had to sign a waiver because they told me it's rigorous, and it was rigorous. It was so rigorous that they said, don't even look at the people there. I was like, what do you mean? Like, I just want to say hi with my eyes. And they were like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. And I learned a lot about myself. The first day I was there, I was like, okay, can I go home now? They were like, no, you can't. I'm like, darn, okay. And honestly, shout outs to Tyler right here. That's my best friend, and I know him for 14 years. And I always say that he's my soulmate, and everybody laughs, but I say that because a soulmate is a mate that helps you find your soul. And it kind of led me into building my own business called The Rally Cry, where I host a mental health podcast speaking on personal development, building relationships, and communication. And along with communication, I made a communication card game called Enough Said. It's perfect icebreaker questions so that you can break the ice on getting to know someone in a meaningful way. You avoid those awkward conversations, and you go into conversations with confidence. And I want to just share with you a couple goals that I got at the Accelerator program, and there's 3 of them here. The first one is creating an event, and actually this Friday at Westside Square over in Connecticut, I'm having an event with a collaboration with another business, and it's just a way to give people an opportunity to have time with their friends, their family, meet strangers, and they have tons of game there. So I hope to see you guys there. It's a free event, so why not? The other 2 is having a website and then create a commercial. Those are in its process. You can see right here, I have a website right here, but it's not optimized for my personal URL. So to optimize that, that'll actually give more traffic. And create a commercial is a creative way to show people what the communication card game is about. And I want to talk about the issue at hand, right? Well, that issue was in my hands, and that issue was lack of undivided attention, poor communication skills, and building unhealthy relationship. Who've been in an unhealthy relationship? I've been there, right? Poor communication skills, someone's not giving you their full attention because they're on their phone, and you're like, I'm talking to you. I'm like, yeah, I'm listening. Oh, yeah. I'm like, but you don't feel that. And well, that's why I wanted to go deeper, right? In the Accelerator program, we conducted a survey. And this survey, there was a couple of things that stood out to me the most. And the first one was age. Ages from 18 and 24 were reported on this survey. And although I like to say that the mental health and communication card game is well-rounded for all ages, going to the next question, there's 2 that are here. How often do you play card and board games? And surprisingly, no one said never. But occasionally 60% is what was reported. The next question was, what prevents you to make a conversation with someone new? And it was 50-50. I get anxious, nervous, or I don't know what to say. Well, I have something to say. Let me propose to you that the communication card game is so that you can ask the right questions so that you can find the right people for you. It gains confidence, right? Because confidence is about being honest. It's about overcoming that anxiety because you know what to say. We did the work for you. You don't need to go on your phone and find the questions or anything like that. It's right in your pocket. And that is what's gonna make relationships more meaningful because you're asking those questions to define what is meaningful to you. And how do I reach out? I am absolutely grateful that I have a podcast that we communicate, and I have a communication card game where we communicate. So YouTube is where I have the podcast. I do bi-weeklies, Tuesdays, 8 a.m. It's been consistent for the last 2 years. And having guests come on, talk about mental health, talking about what success is, the perspective, because that's what life is about. I have that, and then as well on Instagram, that's where I put reels, short forms of content, and I'm doing this pretty much by myself, and I've been being able to do that organized with having certain platforms to make that easier for me. I had the opportunity for a couple of times to go in person, which is where I make my most sales, as well as Good Works Coffee or Chicopee, who's been there. You know, they have pretty good coffee as well, but I do like Cora's coffee, by the way. And I've been actually given the opportunity to be over at Westfield State and present myself in front of a classroom to talk about effective communication. What does it do? Mental health, and my story, where I'm coming from. A little bit what I'm doing here right now. And I wanted to see how can I be more organized, and that was one of the things that I learned at the EforAll program. I realized that if I can sell at least 3 card decks a month, I can cover operational costs. If I can sell 35 or more, I am more than enough to be on target and expand to give back to the business, but to also give back to the community, because there's no community without unity. And we're gonna talk about mental health. I wanna be able to be an advocate for that. So how do I look sustainable? Let's put it on paper real quick. And this was the tricky part when we were in the program, but on the far left, you can see there's a current. And you can see total revenues is a little bit lower than it is when it comes to the cost. And this is because I got an LLC, and I also trademarked both the rally cry and enough said. But now when we're going over to the projection side, you can see that the revenue is going high up, right? And then the variable costs and the fixed costs are a lot lower. You probably have questions. Well, let's go step by step. This is the 18-month plan. As well as I mentioned before, optimizing a website is something that I plan on getting. This is gonna allow me to get more people coming to my website. I have a lot more sales in person, but this is gonna give me the opportunity to do it virtually as well, as we are in this generation of virtual. And we go into more speaking engagement, going to public speaking events, university, mental health, creating more merchandise, right? It's giving me more options to advocate, affirmations, having something people can wear and feel comfortable with. And this gives more of sales. This is giving also for Q4, you can see that I want to be able to have more collaborative events. Similar to the one that's coming this Friday, I'm collaborating with a business owner there, and I just want to keep doing more of that. And creating more workshops, right? Teaching people what is communication, why we communicate, on what you say, and how you say it, because they're both important, not either or. Of course, 2025, February, month of love. I love love. Who likes love? No? Okay. Going once, going twice. I love love. So I want to be able to create a communication card game for couples specifically. And I think that just comes a little bit from my background and gives people the opportunity to ask meaningful questions. And of course, on the side, personally, I'm a therapeutic mentor, and I'm going to school for being a marriage and couples counselor. And I want to be able to be having an independent licensure so that I can have my own clients so I could do it with them. And maybe even write a book. I know there's a cutoff, but it's okay. I got you. And the social impact. What's the social impact? This says it all. This says it all. I've been networking, and people have been playing the game. You can see it on the left, and they're telling me, oh my God, this was so great. I didn't even know about this about my husband. I've been here for 12 years. Oh, I didn't know this about my relationship 2 years. It's because we don't get the opportunity to ask the question. We're outside, and we'd be like, oh, how's the weather? Oh, it's good. That's it. But the card game gives you a reason. It gives you an opportunity. It gives you a chance. So I ask, not only for me, but for the people, to give them a chance so that they can create conversations that's meaningful to them, build relationships that's meaningful to them. And $2,000 is more than enough for a website production, and as well having podcast equipment like lighting. Cameras are expensive, especially like Sony or Canon, like just real good quality cameras. The reason for this is because for the podcast itself is what gives me advertisement for what I do, the advocacy about mental health. And every time when a guest comes on, and even if it's just by myself, we actually start off breaking the ice with the communication card game. So I don't want to do this alone. Let's do it together. So that's me, and that's enough said.
Great job, Angel. Judges?
So, Angel, how did you trademark the name Enough Said? That seems like something that would be pretty hard to get a trademark on.
Yeah, no, it was kind of scary. There's actually like a lot of mentors that I reached. I just asked for help. I don't know, I'll ask for help. And you could do it yourself, or you could hire an attorney. And I did my research. You could go to USPTO, that website, and they actually break it down for you to do it yourself. And worst case scenario, I'll just have to pay another $100 if something they saw was like, oh, wait, this doesn't make sense, so we're going to resubmit. And I'm like, okay. So I basically pay another $100, worst case scenario, but it's $250 per trademark. So I did that process, and that process takes about 6 months. So it's still in this process, but it's mine.
And if I could just follow up on that a little bit. So who do you sell the card games to? I mean, it's funny. When you said Enough Said, I thought it was like something you would like buy and send to your ex-girlfriend or something like that. But then you started talking about couples, and it was like, wait a minute, he's going in a whole different direction. So
Yeah.
who do you think your target customer is?
Yeah, the target customer is breaking the ice into people that really want to create meaningful conversation. Usually I've been having a lot more of my customer segment around the 18 to 35 segment, a little bit in between there. But it's like I've mentioned before, it's really well-rounded for all ages, because I've had families that played it, I've had kids play it, and I've actually used it for my own clients, and it actually started conversation. It's all about, if one card can start conversation, it did its job. So it's giving you the opportunity to overcome that anxiety and not knowing what to say.
What's your plan for generating more speaking engagements?
Yeah, I think I love this question, because when it comes to mental health, it's something that I live and breathe. I talk about it all the time. I'm a therapeutic mentor right now, getting to this new position. I'm having clients, and I don't feel afraid to talk about what I care about, right? It's something that I'm passionate about, something that I believe that's gave me purpose. And to be able to I'm going to my master's next 2025, and I'm going to be around people, right? As long as I'm around people and let people know what I'm about. And I've actually have a couple speaking engagements that I'm going to be looking forward to doing in Westfield State after doing that one. So when I do one, it just multiplies after that. And then when I'm on the podcast and I'm having guests come on, then they know what I'm doing. And then if they have events, then they want me to go on there. Absolutely. So it's kind of just a whole collective thing, and it just keeps going like a snowball effect.
On your revenue, your slide that had expenses and revenues, how much of that is from the card sales versus everything? You have podcast, you have speaking events,
Right.
and you have the cards.
That's absolutely a good question. The good thing is that the card game actually just released not that long ago. It's been 4 months approximately. So that's why you can see here that it's a little bit lower than when it's projected. The sales has been only really just the cards, right? There has been nothing that has been onto the podcast that is really a fixed cost right now, because after I buy a camera, I'm done, right? Like I buy a camera, I buy podcast equipment. There's not too many variable costs when it comes to that. When it comes over the time, like YouTube, there's things that are like sponsorships where I could get sponsored and I could get paid from that. So it's more of like an advertising thing when it comes to the podcast. But when it comes to the card deck itself, the more that I buy in bulk per unit, it's cheaper. So actually, to give you actual numbers, my first batch that I did was 100, and that 100 left $8.50 per unit. So of course, if I buy 200, that's gonna go lower after a while. So the more people that care about it, which is shown about mental health and communication, that's just gonna keep going over time, especially potentially putting them in like Target and Walmart, which people ask me if it is, and I'm like, not yet, but you're foreshadowing something. So good question.
How are you selling it now?
So right now, I've had a good amount online, and a lot of it has been just me telling them about it and being in vending events, and they've been, oh my God, I love it. Let me buy it. I'm like, okay. So it's been more by word by mouth, and this is the reason why having an optimized website will be full circle, especially on Instagram. I'm on TikTok Shop as well. So I try to use like every social media platform, because nowadays, especially after COVID, people are on their phones.
While we're on this slide, does this take into account any sort of salary that you would need to take from the business?
This doesn't indicate that. However, is there a question that you have regarding that?
Do you need to take a salary?
Yeah, I do plan on having a salary. I think the biggest thing that I was looking at for the moment is just a startup, and how is that going to sustain rather than, giving myself the salary. Of course, this is a part-time job that I'm doing aside from like me being a therapeutic mentor. So eventually, of course, like the things that I do right now is going to kind of like collectively go together. And then eventually when people are buying the card games, different editions of card game, we got merchandise, we got sponsorships as well, because the podcast advocates for that. It's like sky is not even the limit. It's our point of view.
How many listens do you get on your podcasts?
You
on
know,
average?
that varies. And right now, like, I think one of my highest views, and views actually don't matter, is more of like the engagement that they're having. But on YouTube, it kind of varies. Right now, it's like an average, I'll say like maybe 100. Regarding for my most viewed episode is like 3,000. But then that also goes back to going on Instagram, where I'm also promoting on there. And my highest reel is 73.4K if we're talking about views specifically. But it's more of just the engagement. Are people commenting? Are people liking? What are they saying? Are they sharing it? And all those other things that are involved in the metrics to get exposure organically.
I want to follow up with your marketing strategy to get more people to hear about your podcast and that drive more sales and business to you. Do you have any plan in place for marketing specifically?
Yeah, so there's the marketing and then there's the advertising. The marketing is the message that I've had put together, and I think the message is quite clear. However, there's always adjustment to that if needed, because we're always trying to grow, right? And when it comes to the marketing part and advertising to reach other people, I'm continually doing that on Instagram, and as well as TikTok and Facebook, and there's LinkedIn. YouTube has been one of those things. To be able to buy ads is something that I want to be able to work with, like having a market like a CMO, so that they can have more of that strategic planning, because I'm not experienced in that yet, and that's okay. But I'm definitely willing to work with someone in the marketing industry that is also in that expertise, so that I can be able to mark that.
Angel, how do you physically create the game? Are you working with a game developer, or if not, have you thought about, geez, if I could work with a game developer, I could make it that much better?
Yeah, to add more to that as well, the card game itself was completely designed by me. There was no one that really put it together. The colors mean like the blue, the green, and the orange is colors that represent the brand, because those are down to earth colors, and I'm a down to earth kind of guy. And I think that also goes with like how conversations should be. It should be grounding. It should be the foundational piece of things. So for right now, my first batch was over in China, and that's when I was using Alibaba to be able to use this and put it together. However, if I can find someone that is local and I can make business with them, absolutely. I just need to make sure that everything makes reasonable sense to me and them.
Should we ask the other members of the cohort if they think you're a down-to-earth guy, or?
I mean, you could. I'll close my ears. Go ahead. Ready? Go.
I just have a question about brand recognition. So there is a little bit of a difference between the card game and your logo for the rally cry. And so I was just wondering if you've given any thought into branding those cards more to just expand your total product.
Yeah, good question. It is something that I have thought about, and the rally cry is a resource, right? It's the podcast and the advocacy of mental health, and it's the flag. It's not the flagship, because the Enough Said is the product, right? So the rally cry is the brand, and the product is Enough Said. So the rally cry owns Enough Said, and that's also something that I put in legal file work when it was coming to trademark. Like, who owns trademark is not me. The rally cry owns trademark, and who owns the rally cry? That's me.
So have you given any thought to, even on those cards, perhaps putting the rally cry logo on there?
How did you know? How did you know? Yeah, absolutely. Actually, coming to when I need to get more inventory, which is really soon, I'm actually revamping it, and I'm putting both the logos in there, which I already put in. And that's a good question, and I feel like you already knew, but yes, absolutely, yes.
We have room for one more question.
Going once, going twice, sold.
Question. You are doing a lot of things. You're going to school still. You're doing your master's. You have another job. How much time do you feel like you can really devote to all of this, given your goals?
That's a good question. You know, that's something that, you know, I have to make sure that I delegate, right? There's my time, there's family time, there's friends time. And I think since I'm so passionate about mental health and I work in mental health spaces, it almost doesn't feel like work. And of course, I give myself time because I'm human. But I think I'm way more than capable of giving that time and devotion to it. And I'm just so grateful to be in the program, how much I've learned, the people I've connected with, because you know, there was a time in my life where I have a very small family, and I feel like I've made more of a family. So it's given me a lot more purpose in many ways that I've ever imagined.
Great job. All right. Good job. Another round of applause for all of the entrepreneurs. All right, this wraps it up. We have 3 more entrepreneurs who are going to be presenting tomorrow night. So if you guys had fun, please join us tomorrow night as well. We want to say, again, a huge thank you to Holyoke Media. Scott's back there doing his thing. And if you don't know, Holyoke Media is also a nonprofit, and they have so many free services that they offer here for entrepreneurs, production equipment, all of that. So please tap in if you guys don't know about that. And showcase and celebration. We're going to be having a huge celebration on October 29th. So many events, sorry. On October 29th, we're going to be celebrating these amazing entrepreneurs. It's going to be a great time. They're going to be showcasing their service and their product. We invite the entire community. Bring the kids, bring the family, come out and meet them, see them in action with their service and products. We are going to have one of our alumni, Jessica Roski, and this is our first time for EforAll to have one of our alums be a keynote speaker. So I'm so excited for everyone to meet her and for our entrepreneurs to hear her story, because she was sitting in your seat a few years ago. And we will be awarding some cash prizes that night. But like you guys will always hear me say, it's not about the money, it's about the networks. We're introducing you to so many amazing humans. So with that said, thank you so much. And if you don't already follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Twitter, Tessa? I don't know. National. EforAll. All right. So we appreciate y'all. Thank you.